Waiting buy on trading up. Puravankara is the first company on our radar on the back of its Q3 numbers. The company reported its highest ever quarterly sales. Realizations are also up 15% on a year-on-year basis. To discuss the outlook going ahead, we're now joined by Abhishek Kapoor, the CEO of Puravankara, and he's going to take some questions for us. Abhishek, morning, and thanks so much for joining in. You know, I was just looking at 99 Acres numbers because InfoEdge reported their numbers and they have this real estate portal 99 Acres, and they in the conference call seem to indicate that the higher repo rate hikes, the interest rate hikes have started hurting demand, and that's a trend that we could see going ahead. Could you tell us, is that something that we are witnessing? Do you think volumes could come down or realization growth will start getting capped? Collections, any guidance that you could give for the next 2 quarters?
Very good morning, Rima. Thank you for having me on the show. Our view really in terms of what's going on in the marketplace is currently we're not seeing any real impact as far as the repo rates are concerned. The number themselves are showing, as you rightly mentioned, we are up 20% in the sales value, highest ever. Realization's gone up. A project in real estate typically has a appreciation cycle as it goes through the development phase and as it gets ready for delivery. So typically the appreciation happens from the launch price right up to the delivery. So in that sense, I think that appreciation will continue. On the demand side, we are really not seeing any impact as of now on the ground. I can share with you in all honesty that we are not seeing any impact as of now, because I think the customers have also become very sharp. They understand during the buying cycle there will be a phase that they will go through in over 10 to 15 years of loan repayment where the interest rates will go up and down, and they manage their cash flows pretty well. So far we haven't seen it, but yes, we should watch out and be careful on how do we see this trend panning out. But I believe that in next 1 or 2 quarters we don't see any significant impact, especially for the branded players. If at all there may be some impact, it could be for the category B and category C players, but generally for branded players, we don't see any impact as of now.
Okay. Take that point, Mr. Kapoor. But my question is, fair enough, maybe people will not shy away from taking that home loan and making that house purchase. But could higher rates limit your capacity to push through more price hikes? Now, that's another thing that one needs to bear in mind, the price elasticity you have. And if you could break that down across both the segments, Provident and, of course, the premium end of the market as well. How is pricing playing out and how much elbow room do you have on both sides of the spectrum?
That's a fantastic question. So, if you look at our portfolio, over 80% of our portfolio is in sub 2 crore bracket, including Provident and Puravankara. It's almost about 15% of our unit value, which is above 2 crores in the total portfolio which we are selling as of now. So in that context, anyways, when you look at the price hikes or the interest hikes, you don't see any significant impact on the EMI increase. The second piece of question which you had is on the realization. So as I mentioned earlier, I think realizations normally factor in the current environment at the time of launch. And then as you go through the project and as you develop the project, the prices appreciate because the supply comes down, inventory gets sold out, the financial closure is there for the project. And as we get a response on the product from the customers and we do the development, typically the prices go up. So in that sense, as I earlier mentioned, the prices will continue to inch up for the projects which are showing progress. Let me share with you something interesting. For example, for us, our collections went up by almost 90% year-on-year basis, right? And that's gone up because we are really focused on operations and construction. And that also sends out a message for the customers. If you see progress on the site, if you see project getting closer to delivery, typically prices go up because the demand for such projects goes up. So, in that sense, it will be available in terms of price increase, project to project and micro market to micro market basis. But yes, you're right that there may be a limit on affordability. So, for example, there could be an impact on how much loan a person can take, right? Because interest rate has gone up. It will also depend on the upcoming appraisal cycle that's going to come. So we'll have to watch out for that on how much limitation it causes. So a guy who was, willing to buy a 2.5 BHK and wanted to push it to 3 may not be able to push it to 3, if this continues in in the same direction. So I think those are things that we need to kind of watch for and see where it lands.
So up trading seems a little more difficult. Abhishek, could you give us an indication of the volume and value of projects which are scheduled for delivery in Q4 and in the first half of FY24 or the whole of FY24? Some numbers?
Look, we don't give forward guidance, but if you see the trend, we are now really focusing on delivery. In fact, in the last quarter, our revenues went up by 67% year-on-year basis. That's on the back of delivery. EBITDA went up by 51%, 128 crores. So that's again back of delivery. We will see that trend continue in this quarter as well. What's going to be interesting is that we have already launched 4 million square foot in the last 9 months. We are adding another 2 million square foot in this quarter itself. And then overall from here to the next financial year, we're looking at adding another 16 million square foot of launches. So on an overall basis, this will add in excess of 10,000 crores of potential top line for the business for us. So I think that's where the focus is, on the new launches and the sales, and of course delivery. So you will see more and more delivery happening in this quarter and continuing that over the next few quarters.
Can you repeat those numbers? 4 million square feet launched in 9 months. An additional 2 million will be launched in the March quarter, Q4 FY23. And for FY24, what's the number?
So if you look at it, total of 16 million square foot, so another 14 million March onwards.
40, okay. And the whole value of that will be 10,000 crores.
10,000 plus.
Got it. All right. Okay.
All right. Abhishek, good chatting with you. Thank you very much for taking out the time and stopping by with some of those details. We do need to get into